Hello and welcome to Talkin' Baseball, the first episode where we discuss the postseason, because it's here. Let's do it. Hello and welcome to Talkin' Baseball. Thank you very much for joining us today. My name is Jimmy. I am sitting at my desk at the Roosevelt Studios. Jake is sitting across from the table from me. BBD is in the corner. We're back in the office. We quarantined. We got ourselves healthy. We got ourselves safe. And now it's time to watch some playoff baseball and never sleep again for a couple weeks. Thank you very much for joining us. We appreciate you. I'm going to rifle off some of our most newest patrons right away, Jake, because they are bringing the show today and they deserve the shout-outs. Are you ready for it? We have Christina Muniz, MG, Evan Fleshig, Tyler Branco, Tiffany Gustanki. Gustanki, that's a crazy name. Tim Spencer, Jeff Lacey, Brennan, Ross N., Nate Buckles, Linsacum in my Buckles, King Memington III, Oliver Goodacre, Andrew Kolbenschlag, Dylan Schreiner, Classical Revolution, Alex Beglin, Carter Illich, Straight Piped. Hold on, there's some stuff at the end of that. Straight Piped, Z71, Thomas Peterson, and Chris Dykstra. Those are our most recent patron supporters, our most recent patrons. Thank you guys very much. We're going to be doing like an episode a day every morning around 11 a.m. East Coast time, 8 a.m. California time. And that's live for patrons. As soon as we record it, as soon as it gets edited and then published, it's live for everyone. I'm guessing that's going to be around, if we go 11 to 12:30, around 1:30 in the afternoon, 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah, only day that should be kind of rough is the Wednesday game. Games start at noon.
We'll have to figure that out. Maybe we'll make Trev wake up super early.
I'm trying to trick Trev into getting up a little early. He can. He loves it.
Well,
he wakes and bakes.
So if you want to watch live, it's a good time to get in and support us. If you've been following all season, it's like $2. It's $2 a month. You get all live access. You know, a lot of people in the chat help with part of the show.
Helps.
They're basically
community.
They're basically intern producers. They give us a lot of info that
it's on their resumes.
Helps. Yeah, intern producer if you're a patron member. So, Jake, how are you doing?
Jim, I'm good.
Tell him why Trev isn't here.
Trev isn't here. He was planning on being live. He was doing a little getaway weekend with the fam before the playoffs, before we lock him in a room. He's trapped in a fire. No, he's leaving his vacation early because his family was getting a little nervous about the California fire, so we don't like that noise at all, Jim, so if you could stop that. Trev's on his way back home.
That was the sound of the fires.
So we thank him. No, we don't. We fucking hate him. But he'll be with us throughout this. We'll have anything that's a bad take we'll say is from him. And,
we got to do brackets.
He'll be back. Yeah, we'll do some brackets.
Maybe. When should we have done those already?
I mean, it's like today or tomorrow. Yeah,
we'll do them tomorrow.
Probably today.
We'll do them today. We'll post them tomorrow or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know if we're doing a show tomorrow. We're doing the pregame show.
Yeah, we are.
Pregame show, right?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll have brackets on the pregame show.
And yeah, man, it's gonna be nuts, man. It's hard to fathom. I'll always have my feelers a little bit in the other sports as well, and it's like, what? The Stanley Cup's going on right now? Like, NBA Finals starts this week?
I asked around. Brother-in-law Brett he follows hockey. He's a Ducks fan, follows hockey. I asked him, has hockey been on your radar? Like, you follow hockey. And he said no. Like, I don't see it anywhere.
It's really weird, man. I feel bad, and it really is. And we're going to find out with baseball. We're going to see how it feels because playoff hockey has such a tie to the environment, and I feel like you see the cuts screens of the streets of St. Louis going nuts, and we don't have that this year. But dude, like NBA is normally the hottest sport in the streets. Like the finals just got decided, and it's like not hot. Like not
Who's
a lot
in
of
it?
people target. It's the Lakers and the Heat.
No, nothing's been finding me.
And
I think maybe that's the bubble. So maybe this isn't a year where baseball is going to find casual fans.
It'll be interesting to see because I do feel like baseball, and obviously we're linked to it more, but baseball, in a semi-joking, in a serious way, has been hot in the streets, and I think it's going to continue.
I'm way too close to know
I
the
think,
difference.
I think people are more into the baseball, and it's nuts, man. These 3-game series are as mind-numbing as it comes from our angle. Because, dude, you can go 8 ways with it instantly. I mean, they got their ace going game 1, and then they just need one. Oh, but if they beat their ace, then they're done. And, like, that's, you can essentially have that argument with almost every series, and it's going to be bizarre to see who the playoff stars are and how these 3-game sets look. Because, I mean, we're going to talk about them a lot, but we don't really know. We haven't seen them.
Yep. So let's do a brief recap of how the regular season ended, and then we'll get into like surface level matchups. But we'll be doing the pregame show, and we'll be doing the recap after every morning around 11 a.m., 10:30 a.m. if we can get Trev up earlier. We'll be recapping the games that happened beforehand. That will live on this feed that you're listening to right now. We will also still be doing our pregame shows detailing the games that are coming up. It's going to be really hard on like Wednesday when there's 8 games, but then it'll fizzle out and there'll be 1 or 2.
Yeah.
And those shows are live for everyone. You don't have to be a patron member to watch those. We've been doing them all season.
Yeah.
They're a little more loosey-goosey, a little more fun. Not that this isn't. So
no loose here.
there's going to be 2 Talkin' Baseball shows every day, a recap and a preview.
Have you seen what the Wednesday schedule is?
Time-wise?
It's awesome.
No, what is it?
Games start at noon, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then 7 and 10 are to themselves. But
That's what we thought. That's what we thought we'd want the prime time, and then they'd stack them. That's nuts.
Wednesday, I mean, the first game kicks off at noon. The last game kicks off at 10.
We don't have enough TVs here.
No, we'll figure something out.
Flip, rotate.
Because, I mean, we can have this conversation off air.
Okay. Well, anyway,
I'm excited. Got a smart TV, and then you can have the cable, and you can do some stuff.
8 games
yourself.
on Wednesday.
Admit yourself.
It's crazy.
What happened this weekend? What was important this weekend? I know you want to talk about the Brady Singer Tarek Skubal start.
Well, I don't want to
Kansas
talk about
City.
any individual performances.
Yeah. And we don't care about that. Game.
First update for anyone that may not know.
Yeah.
We have a lot of people that listen that maybe they don't pay attention deeply, and this is their news source. The Phillies and the San Francisco Giants do not make the playoffs.
I like it. Let's start off with the losers of the weekend.
Yeah.
Phillies and Giants. You guys earned it. And you know what, Brewers? You're fucking losers this weekend, too, but you backed in. Bunch of jerks. Who I've been rooting for all year. But you're still jerks.
Everyone backed in, man. So I mean, I think everyone knows that, I think, whatever. I was helping our social team, who they kick ass.
Yeah.
But I was helping them with that last day because I thought it was so exciting. So I was like, I'll jump on. I'll make clips. I'll tweet from Talkin' Baseball. Let's cover it. We were trying to give out all the scenarios and the score. The most exciting day. The circumstances were so exciting of Sunday. And then no one did anything. Like I tweeted out, all the Giants needed was the Brewers to lose, and if they won, they were in the playoffs. The Brewers lost. The Giants couldn't get the win.
And hey, Giants.
But then all the Phillies needed, the Brewers and the Giants to lose. So you're saying that probably won't happen. Both happened. Phillies can't win.
And I'd zoom out even more, Jim. Phillies just needed 1 game this weekend. And they didn't get it. I mean, they played the Rays, who, hey, they are the second best team in baseball, but these games didn't matter to them. They clinched the number 1 seed on Friday. And you didn't get one. And you didn't deserve it. Your bullpen didn't deserve it all year.
You didn't deserve it. That's the thing with the expanded playoffs. It creates fake chaos. And I've been saying this on both of our shows for a while. Because a lot of people responded to me like, well, that's what happens when you let 500 teams into the playoffs. They don't take, of course they're not going to win their way in. They're bad teams.
Well, I understand what you're saying, but I think we'll have you could be very verified in a couple days, or you could be very flip-flop. Because, I mean, if the Brewers were to somehow beat the Dodgers, if
with Burns out, that's going to
Miami and the Cubbies. Yeah, but it's it's baseball, Susan.
The Phillies situation is
Can
nuts.
the Toronto lineup go?
So the Phillies and Giants. Just give them like 5 minutes
And
each.
let's give them. Well, let's give the Giants a little love. They weren't supposed to be here at all.
That's what I was saying.
Like, the bigger loser should be the Rockies in Arizona. I mean, those
Yes.
teams could have easily been 500 baseball teams, and you would have been in the playoffs at 500.
Rockies are huge losers this season.
They're losers. So are the Diamondbacks, man. The Diamondbacks went out, got mad bummed. They
But
went
I
out.
didn't get any of those moves. I said all, like, for me personally, like, I was like, I didn't have them.
They had a
doing
winning
anything.
record last year, and they went out and got players.
Confusing moves
And they blew
that
it.
might have worked, but I still don't know.
Rockies, you blew it. Mets, you blew it, but you also lost, like, some really good pitchers. But you still kind of blew it. Phillies, you blew it in a big way. Giants, almost good for you, and then you blew it at the end.
But the Giants is fine. Like, you walk away from
Yeah.
the Giants and you say, hey, that was fun. You know, it would have been fun to get a 3-game series and lose it.
And
but
they
whatever.
got, that last inning, they're down 1 run, and they got some brutal calls from the umpire. So I know Giants fans are hurting. So sorry about that. That stinks.
The Phillies are in a tough spot because they traded Real Muto. They traded for Real Muto. They traded Sixto Sanchez. Sixto Sanchez is now in the playoffs with the Marlins.
Yeah.
And Real Muto's contract's done, and you didn't even make the playoffs once with him.
Yeah.
So, and then you have Bryce Harper come out and say, if Real Muto's not on the team next year, that we got problems. And it's like, oh, shit, Bryce.
Yeah.
Like, imagine if they don't re-sign him because, teams can offer him more money, and Bryce isn't going to get mad at Real Muto. And
Right.
Bryce, you took a ton of money, so they might not have money.
And
Very interesting for Bryce to come out and say that because it puts everyone in a tough spot.
He's been kind of saying it all year.
I know,
like
but
every
just
chance
to
he's got.
cement it now. If you're a Phillies fan, you love it.
Yeah.
He's fighting for his guys, and Real Muto's really good. But Philly's like, come on, guys.
Yeah, no, I'll say this. The spin zone for Philly is, what was our weakness? I found it. It's the bullpen. So, again, if you can, maybe they do re-sign Real Muto. Maybe they offer him the qualifying. And, again, free agency might be real weird this year. So maybe Real Muto does come back. And then you can focus literally all of your efforts on the bullpen. So you've got that. But, I mean, just you guys screwed the pooch this year. Do we do the AL losers quick? I mean, it's the Angels. Texas kind of screwed up.
Yeah.
The Nationals, people probably want us to say they're losers. Their whole season was bizarre and kind of where they finished.
They never were. The Nationals were big-time losers.
The whole Soto thing sucked. And
Scherzer and, Strasburg and Corbin all
Yeah.
pitched all season, though, right?
I think...
Maybe a little...
Yeah, I think Strasburg was hurt to start the year. And the Soto thing was just bizarre, and that kind of... They started off so bad. Kind of losers. They still have a ring. They don't care.
Yeah, I think the thing with the Nationals is I never cared. Because they
Yeah.
won last year, and it's so easy to be
It's
like,
a
whatever,
weird year,
whatever.
yeah.
We had our weirds. But, yeah, I guess, Nationals fans could be saying, hey, we fucked up,
Yeah,
too.
you're saying we're the defending champs. We should be back in there, and you're not. And if you went 500, you would be. But I told you guys the MLB fix was in on them. So, AL losers, the Angels, they started playing pretty solid ball down the stretch. And again, if they were 500, they'd be the 6th seed in the AL, Jim.
They fire their GM immediately.
Billy Epps.
Old ex-assistant GM of Brian Cashman.
Yeah.
So maybe when Steve Cohen poaches Cashman, the Yankees will just hire Epler.
Epler to work for Alderson.
Yeah. If you're not aware of that reference, Carl Ravitch was asked what he would do as Steve. What would your advice be to Steve Cohen? And Carl Ravitch, who's an analyst on TV and says interesting things, like what we do, said, "Well, I'd try and go get Cashman. He's pretty good. And then there were a bunch of headlines like, Mets' first move may be to steal Cashman. And it's like, no. That was just Carl Ravitch's advice.
Yeah.
That's not a plan anywhere.
But it might be.
They asked Cashman about it, or Heyman asked Cashman about it, and he was like, well, it's pretty flattering, but Carl Ravitch just said that.
Yeah.
There's no sources from the Mets.
You don't need sources anymore. Sources are so
It's so funny that
2014.
the headlines they wrote were like, Mets may try to steal. And it's like, what? No, that was just Ravitch's advice, which is good advice.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Rangers are probably kicking themselves a little bit, but they finished with the second worst record in baseball. We kind of thought it could go that way. That's pretty wild in hindsight. That's kind of it, though. I mean, the AL ended up sorting out pretty good.
Who are some of the winners out of the losers?
Like Boston?
The Giants. They didn't make the playoffs, but good year.
They had a good baseball year.
The Orioles. I think the Orioles took a big step forward that no one expected them to.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of funny seeing where they landed because, again, that was their Vegas over-under to start the year. It's 25.
How many did they get?
25.
Yeah, but they played some good better baseball.
They played a good brand of baseball for a little while. They ended up limping in. I think Kansas City's kind of happy. They had some young people coming up. Detroit's pretty happy. They had young people come up and they played good baseball.
Kansas City's got some good pitching.
I think those are your only winners out of the loser. Boston wanted to be bad this year. They get the 4th pick in the draft.
They fire Renicky.
Yeah.
Their PR screws it up again.
Yeah.
It's actually their move now. It's like the PR is like, wait, you guys think we screwed up? That's our move.
Yeah. It's our SIG.
What they did is they announced there's a press conference, like Dombrowski did this, and now with Renicky, they're like, all right, Renicky's talking to the press at 1 o'clock. And then the press shows up, and then Renicky doesn't show up, and the PR guy does and says, oh, Renicky's not coming, we fired him. Gotcha. Thanks for showing up, though.
Enough of the losers. Let's talk about the good teams.
You want to?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's do it.
The Brewers, the American League was set up from the start. The Brewers get in, the Reds get in.
Yeah.
Those are the whole will they, won't they.
NL Central, bro.
NL Central has 4 teams in the playoffs. It's pretty cool. The Brewers very much backed in.
Yeah.
Because everyone else lost. If the Phillies won or the Giants won, the Brewers aren't in because they didn't win. But they're in there. The Brewers also lose their best pitcher going into the postseason, and that sucks for them, and that's not good. But they are the 8 seed. The 8 seed Brewers will be playing the 1 seed Dodgers. They win their division. And then the 7 seed Reds, also the wild card, and the Reds end with a winning record, 31-29.
Yep.
Real hot to end the season.
Won their last few series to get it going. Nobody wants them. Votto with the awesome presser.
Oh, you like that?
Yeah.
You coming around on Votto, huh?
I don't like his on-the-field antics. That was always kind of the miscommunication. But some of the weird stuff he was doing with the fans between games, taking the balls from kids and stuff. I don't know. It was kind of a hardo on the field. I love his game, and I like his off-the-field stuff. Some of the on-the-field goof kind of came off bad.
Yeah, it seems like you don't like one thing he does when he toys with opposing fans.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I don't like that.
But you used to say you didn't. We used to go back and forth on this very show, and you said you didn't like Votto.
Well,
now you're saying you like everything besides one thing about him.
Yeah, I don't like that. There's not a lot of players that you hear me say I don't like one thing about.
I know. Votto's like beloved across the league, and it was your stance that you didn't like him.
I do like some of the other stuff he does. I don't like that.
Okay. He's awesome. If you haven't heard that soundbite, it's
the off the field.
Every quote in that soundbite nails it.
I'll say this: the storm is sweeping too strongly on the Reds.
Oh yeah, everyone has them like a favorite now.
Yeah, they're.
But the Braves pitching.
Braves pitching, but, and we've done this the past couple of times. I mean, the Central hitting this year, it was the White Sox, and that's it, as teams that could hit.
Yeah, a lot of good pitching, so there's a yin and yang.
So the Braves facing the Reds could be a little bit of a hello. So that series is going to be fun, but, yeah, I mean, a lot of Reds takes flying.
They're hot. Cubs win their division. They're like limping in. The pitching's good, but their offense is brutal right now. Like I was on the Cubs forums, and they were all like, how we are about the Yankees. I think there's a lot of similarities between Cubs and Yankees fans right now. Because I was reading a bunch of Cubs fans' opinions on Reddit, and a lot of them were like, I'd be surprised if we make it out of the first round. I was like, whoa.
I told you, they got off to a hot start, and I was saying Cubs fans aren't excited. I mean, since they started 13-3, I mean, since then they've been under 500, which is the majority of the season. Like, they haven't played a good brand of baseball in a chunk of time.
I like the Cubs. I like Darvish and Hendricks. The Marlins have a good offense, but they chase like crazy. You can get them to swing and miss stuff, and Darvish is a professor, or Hendricks is a little professor out there, and Darvish has swing and miss stuff. So I like those two pitchers against the Marlins. The Marlins, though, they get in, they take 2 out of 3 against the Yankees, and we saw a little bit of this. They play to win every at-bat in every inning, and they're doing hit and runs, and they're laying down bunts, and they're doing everything that the Braves don't do to jump around. The Braves just bang. I think the Braves have the least amount of productive outs in all of MLB. I think the Marlins are the opposite.
Yeah.
So that might be fun baseball.
The Marlins play a scary brand of playoff baseball.
They're like the Royals in 15.
They've got bodies. They've got some young pitching. It's that Cubs series, like you mentioned, it's going to be in Wrigley, and the Cubs have a lot of guys that have done it before. But Miami's kind of got this young and dumb thing going. They've got their no one expected us to be here. And, they run. They pressure you that if they take one of the Hendricks-Darvish starts, if it's Lester for Game 3, Miami would run all over him.
Yeah.
And then it's what? Then is it Alec Mills?
Is it? Yeah, Alec Mills for Game 4. But
It's 3 game.
It's Lester for Game 3, I think. They haven't announced it.
I'm just saying that would be an awful matchup for the Cubs.
Do you think the Cubs could do their best public apology to Bartman ever by letting him be the only fan in Wrigley?
The only fan. No, because if you lose a 3-game set, then Bartman's back on the hot seat, so you can't risk
Put him in disguise as a vendor, and it's no one knows about it, but he gets to see.
People would know.
Is that old man Bartman? That's a prosthetic nose. That'd be good, though.
Those highlights were going. Because it's the Bartman series, but, man, tough.
Oh, that's society looked back and were like, whoa.
Yeah.
We're a bunch of assholes, huh? Sent that dude into witness protection?
Yeah. Oops.
It's like a real blight on sports fans' past. There's a lot of other ones out there. There's been murders in parking lots and stuff, but that was a collective. I think even broadcasters, piled on. Everyone in society.
It's sports, yeah.
It's bad.
It's the beauty and the sickness of sports.
In the National League, Cubs, Marlins, and then Padres, St. Louis, which is the most interesting, uninteresting matchup for me. Padres lose Clevenger, and they get to host, which is awesome. Padres' offense has been dying of late. They're the second most home runner bust team, and they haven't really been doing it. The Cardinals, they're a little bit like the Marlins. They just find ways to win. Bader's went off in the last game, but is it Flaherty Game 1? So I wrote down the matchups, and I was trying to find announcements. And you would think it's Flaherty Game 1, but he just pitched, but I think he lines up.
And the NL does start a day later.
Yeah.
And, again, this is where kind of funky 3-game strategy comes in that we haven't seen before. I almost would like if they went Waino-Flaherty.
Well, that's what the Dodgers are doing.
Because you can win that Waino game pretty easily. Waino's still a monster. And then if you got Flaherty following, that can be a wham-bam thank you, ma'am.
That's what the Dodgers are doing, and it made me rethink it because for a while, in Yankees land, I was like, Cole's first. Cole's Game 1.
What are the Dodgers doing?
They're going Buehler 1, Kershaw 2.
I think they did that last year, right?
Yeah, but Buehler deserved it more last year. Kershaw is their best starting pitcher right now in a landslide, I believe. But then I was reading, and everyone was like, well, Game 2 is the most important game. Whether you win or lose Game 1, Game 2 is the most important game.
It's true.
So it makes a little sense. But I could not find what the Cardinals are doing. I don't know if they've announced it yet. Let me look at the pitching game log. So Flaherty pitched on the 25th, right? So 25th, 26 day of rest, 27 get 2 rest, 23, 4. So if he pitches on the 30th, that's 4 days rest for Flaherty. So he's lined up unless they want Kim. Waino can't pitch in Game 1 or 2, it looks like. He pitched on the 26th. So that would be 1, 2, 3. No, he could pitch Game 2. So Waino can pitch Game 2.
So you're thinking Flaherty, Waino?
Yeah, but Kim's rested, and Kim's been their best pitcher. It is like that's very odd to throw Kim out there game 1 over Flaherty, who's your dude.
Yeah.
But
then again, that's where the funny business comes into play. Like, hey, you got Flaherty and Waino ready to go.
Yeah.
That's where I've been talking about Yankees funny business a lot on Talkin' Yanks. I'm surprised they kind of didn't go that route.
Yeah, I don't know.
In the Cardinals, you could pretty easily tell Flaherty you're saving him for a game 3 if you need him, and if they get through in 2, then he can go game 1 and 5 or however the schedule lines up.
Yeah, but you can't if you also lose the first 2.
It's just because the other 2 have been so good.
Yeah, you can't go.
I don't know
down
what day he
without
last
using
pitched.
Flaherty. You can't go down without using Flaherty.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're. That's why the best pitcher pitching game 2 I kind of get if you like the matchup in game 1. If you're other like Walker in game 1 with the bullpen.
Well, that's where I thought some teams might be flexible, and hey, maybe they will be. Again, we don't know. This hasn't happened before, but kind of what BBD was saying, like if you had Flaherty and Waino in the hole and both were on, both are rested, you could almost go Waino game 2 if you won and say like, hey, if we do win in 2, we got Flaherty lined up for the DS, and you might be in a better position than any team.
I don't like doing that.
Or you have Flaherty lined up for the 3rd and deciding game.
I get it. You have to pitch your best pitchers in game 1 and 2. If you want to flip it, you can, but you can't save Flaherty for game 3 and then lose, and you never used him, or you used him out of the bullpen. And
well, that's what I'm saying. If you won one of the first 2 games, then you save Flaherty for either the 3rd game, or you have him for game 1.
But I'm saying I would not do that.
Yeah.
I need your top 2 pitchers to start your first 2 games. Like, because if you lose game 1 and then you go Waino game 2, and
if
he
they lost
blows
game 1, I have Flaherty pitching game 2. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Yes, I agree with that. I'm saying the other option, even if you win, I'm using Flaherty too. There's no way, even if you're up 1-0, I'm saving Flaherty.
Yeah.
Just getting the best 2 pitchers in the first 2. I think it's interesting to put if the Yankees went Tanaka Cole, you could talk me into that.
Yeah.
But you can't save Cole for a potential game 3 or game 1 for me. It has to be in the first 2 games.
Yeah. I know. That's where I'm
I understand the
interested
strategy.
by it. Like if the Yankees were to win Cole, and then you potentially save Tanaka for game 3, because right now the Yankees game 3 is a pretty scary proposition if they get there.
Yeah. Oh yeah. All right, so let's stay in the NL. Is there any other matchups we haven't really talked about yet?
I think we did the NL.
Braves, Reds.
Yeah, I just, it's what this Reds team is built for, and we're going to find out. I mean, they've got the 3 horses.
I'm worried about the Braves. The offense bangs, but they do not do the timely hitting. They do not do the sac fly. They do not do the move the runner over. It's like they bang and they bang one way. So I'm worried about the Braves offense not doing the little things. I think they are like the worst team with runners in scoring. Basically, I read an article and it was like every fan base thinks they're bad at moving runners over and runners in scoring position. Well, thank God the Braves exist because you're not as bad as them. And I was like, I think they're the least productive outs in baseball, and they're going against really good pitchers that they're not going to be able to just bomb them. So it would be a very interesting. But
you're not going to be able to bomb them until you do bomb them. And
the Reds pitchers have not faced a lineup like the Braves before. The Braves lineup is very, very good.
I mean, dude, Ozuna almost had the Triple Crown this year. He had homers and RBI. Juan Soto, youngest batting champ ever. Jesus Christ. Freddie Freeman might win MVP, a 1.1 OPS. Acuna, he dropped to a 987 OPS. Darno is a 919. Duvall, Swanson start with an 8. Albies has been going nuts for the past month. I don't know, man. I
like Ian Anderson. I like the Marlins small balling him to death. Like if you have a rookie pitcher out there, the Reds small balling him to death.
I don't know if they small ball to death. The Reds haven't really balled to death.
I know, but
offense.
I would love that strategy. I would love them to bunt around, steal. His first playoff start, mess with the dude a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know if they will.
Yeah, no, Bauer Fried game 1. That's as good as it gets. Yeah, I'm interested to see. I mean, Bauer's not going to be on normal rest, and Bauer's a guy that does, believe in the body performing the best, and he's been fighting to go every 3 days. I'm interested to see how that looks.
Bauer has I'm not going to bet against Bauer on short rest right now just because
it's not short rest. I'm saying he's getting extra rest.
Oh, well, whatever rest he's getting, I'm betting on Bauer because I've never seen a guy with so much confidence.
Yeah.
And he's put it out there so much. I don't know.
I mean, he's probably going to win the Cy Young. Again, I think he's running into a different lineup that he hasn't seen. And he might be extra rest. I don't know. He's going to come in that first game, and it's going to be what? Acuna, Albies, Freeman, Ozuna. And, he might be overhyped. He's had the play-up thing before. I don't know. And then, Sonny Gray's got a ton of playoff experience. Our taste in our mouths from him is a little different as Yankee fans, but it's going to be
the two.
It's going to be an interesting series.
They have Sonny lined up for Game 3.
Yeah,
right now.
he's
Sonny
the
for
3. It's
well,
Castillo 2.
If it gets there, I don't know. I'm going to be interesting to see this Braves lineup.
What's a series that you can look at right now and say, I think that one's going to go 3? Because for me, it's Braves Reds.
Ooh, okay.
That's the one where if I had to choose, I think that one's definitely going 3
NL
games.
only?
NL only for now, and then we'll do this again when we move over.
A series that's definitely going 3 games. I think it's Padres Cardinals for me.
Not definitely, just most likely. I think Braves. So you think Cards
might do some funny business. They've got a ton of playoff experience. The Padres have been the story of baseball this year that if they lose Game 1, it's going to be tough to picture them.
Lamet's healthy,
Game 2.
right?
Lamet's healthy and good. Again, I think this is going to be his first playoff start. Let's see what that looks like.
Lamet versus Flaherty, Davies, Waino. The Padres bats have been a little stinky lately.
Yeah, they started to come down to earth a little bit.
In the last 10 games, I think they only have one player hitting with a batting average, good batting average. It's Profar, and then Hosmer's good as well. But Hosmer's on base is awful, and his OPS is awful, so he's just slapping it around.
Will Myers finishes with the highest OPS on that Padres team.
Yeah, they do not have like a hot hand right now. It's Tatis actually turned it back on. He met with his dad. His dad told him to stop striding so much.
Hit again.
But he's been, Tatis is a rookie. Lamet's a rookie. I am a believer in playoff experience helps you in the playoffs. We've seen it not happen, but we've also seen it happen a bunch. Yeah. So, Cubs had to lose in the CS before they won the World Series. Royals had to lose in the World Series before they won the World Series. It happens a lot.
Yeah, and
Astros broke the mode. They were cheating.
It also ties into organizations a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, the Padres, they don't have that kind of reputation. I think they're on their way. They got new front office, and they've got, obviously, this young core. St. Louis, this is what they do. Mm-hmm. So I think that's going to be a really good series.
Yeah. Anything else in the NL? I mean, we're just kind of surface scratching. We'll go deep dives into the games on the pregame show.
Yeah, I mean, Dodgers Brewers, that seems like a mismatch. I'll just say this: it is baseball. Yelly, you can wash away your whole season, and man, the Brewers are a ticking time bomb. Just because if they get into the 5th inning with a lead, they got 3 guys that can give them multiple innings.
Dodgers bullpen, they're banking on all those guys being good because none of the Dodgers pitchers have thrown 100 pitches this season, I think. I don't think any Dodger pitcher gets into the 6th inning. So either that was strategy, and they're now going to let them empty the tank, and they were just saving them so they're not gassed out and for a deep run, or they're going to rely heavily on that middle bullpen for the Dodgers. And then, you see Roberts, he was shaky to go to Jansen last year because of what happened in the playoffs before that. I think Jansen's been good. He's got 2 shaky recently. It might be a battle of the bullpens for like 4 innings every day.
This sounds really dumb because all of these game 1s are going to be hyper important. We've talked about this. Like each fan base is going to, if you win game 1, you're on top of the world. If you lose game 1,
are you about to say
that
game 1 is the least important for the Dodgers?
I think it's the most important.
Oh, okay.
I think of any team, because especially if they're going Kershaw game 2 with his quote-unquote playoff resume, and if they somehow lose to the Brewers in game 1, I mean, holy smokes, it could all go out the window.
I was going the opposite, saying you got Kershaw game 2 and the Brewers game 3.
I mean, in Woodruff, dude, we get lost.
If they had Burns, it'd be a different story.
If they
It's
had
a huge
Burns, a
loss.
lot of people would be getting the hot take cannon ready. Jim, Bobby Woodruff finishes this season with a 3.05 ERA.
Yeah, he's good.
And dude, his playoff experience, he's got it's 2 starts, 5 games, but 16.1 innings with a 1.65 ERA. So it's a small sample, but it's the sample we've got. Woodruff's been really good in some big playoff games for them. I think he even did it against the Dodgers in 2018. 9.1 innings, 17 Ks.
You did give us the offenses in the Central, though.
Yeah.
And the Dodgers are a different story. And
The Dodgers should dominate this
the
series.
Dodgers are swinging big sticks. Bellinger's got it going. In his last 10 games, he's hot as fuck. Justin Turner's got it going. Rios has even been going crazy. Pollock's been going crazy.
Pollock's been going nuts.
Chris Taylor's the 5th hottest Dodger, and he would be the hottest Padre
Easily.
going into the postseason.
Yeah.
So, Woodruff's not going to see a lineup. He hasn't seen a lineup like the Dodgers.
No.
So.
He's got the playoff experience. He has pitched against these Dodgers. That game 1 is the biggest game 1 for me. Because although the rest of the series, I mean, the Dodgers should dominate this whole thing. They're an amazing team.
Yeah.
But it's one baseball game. Our guy John Sterling had the great quote the other day. Oh, who's going to win a baseball game? I don't know. You can always ask that question. Nobody knows.
I think game 1 is very important for the Braves.
Okay.
Fried, and then you got nothing.
I see what you're saying.
You got rookies. You got to win that Fried game. I mean, because then they got Castillo and Bauer with a win under their belt right away. And if you can win game 1, because you're saying the Reds have so much momentum right now and everyone's on them, it's kind of like a punch right away, like, hey, we're the 2 seed.
Yeah.
And I think that punch can really land big if you knock out Bauer and the Reds in game 1. So I think the Braves game 1 is the most important. And they have Fried, and he's coming back from injury, so he's got question marks around him a little bit. Acuna came out for a wrist injury, but he should be fine.
Yeah.
Braves bullpen's good, but I think if the Braves lose game 1, it gets scary, and the Reds become like a big favorite.
It gets scary. Ian Anderson has been good for them. You're right. He is a rook. That lineup's got a lot of playoff experience at this point. I don't know. I think the Braves, they've gone so much of this year without relying on their starting pitching that I think they're just like, well, this is how we run it.
Norm says
we're going to try to hit our dicks off.
Norm says Fried needs to start game 2. I wouldn't hate that move for them, but you are conceding game 1 then, basically. And I hate that move. You have to go Fried 1.
You have to start Fried.
You can't start off scared.
Yeah, I think they've already got him listed as the game 1 starter.
Yeah.
Fried starting game 1.
Norm, you're scared. Norm's patron in the chat, Braves fan.
Don't be scared about
it. But Norm's scared, but he's also locked in. He said it's a lock that the Braves win.
Yeah. I think they're going to do
Is that not baseball fandom wrapped up into one?
They're going to do their same thing, man. They're going to – that top of that lineup is disgusting. And I think Bauer hasn't seen a lot of that.
All right, let's move on to the NL to the AL, but before that, let me tell you about a little company called Drafts Kings. I got the new one, don't worry. Luke sent it to me. Week 3 of football is in the books, and now it's time to review the tape and get ready for Week 4. There is no better place to get in on all the action than with DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook app. To add to the excitement of Week 4, DraftKings is bringing back their can't-miss offer. If you haven't tried DraftKings Sportsbook yet, head to the App Store now because you don't want to miss this. DraftKings Sportsbook is giving all new users the chance to turn $1 into $100 when they bet on any team. That's right, you can place a $1 bet on any team, and if that team wins, you cash a cool Benjamin. How could you pass that up? Don't worry if football isn't for you. DraftKings is giving all you basketball fans 200% profit boost on any basketball market once you sign up. DraftKings is safe, reliable, and secure. making it easy for you to deposit and withdraw your money at your convenience. Download the top-rated DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use promo code Jomboy when you sign up to get this can't-miss offer. Pick any team during Week 4, bet $1 on them, and win $100 if they win. That's $1 to win $100 when you use promo code Jomboy during sign-up. For a limited time only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Must be 21 or older, New Jersey only. Profit boost terms and conditions and eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In the American League, young Jake. We both went no hats today, huh?
Who's your
haircut gang?
Haircut or haircut pod? BBD's got one too. Did Lamet leave with injury?
Well, he did, but I think they're now saying he's going to be okay.
Bicep tightness. That's going to be interesting to follow.
I was trying to read.
If they're without Lamet and Clev, because doesn't Clev think he's coming back too?
He's not.
Who's your number 2 team in the NL? I mean, it's still the Dodgers easily. Is it still the Padres for you?
No, especially not if Lamet's shaky.
Maybe. Who's your number 2 in the NL?
Tricky.
Right?
Tricky. Right now my brain went, first I went Cubs, and then I was like, okay. I still like the Cubs experience, and I like that they're guys. Like, if their lineup turns it on, we're hoping for the Yankees, and I don't believe in the Yankees for that same reason, so it feels like I can't believe in the Cubs. Then I went to St. Louis.
Yeah. They're sneaky good,
They're sneaky, and I like their pitching staff. And then I went to the Reds.
Yeah.
They're fucking nightmare, like Votto said. So I don't know. I mean, don't make me choose.
For me right now, it's a coin flip between St. Louis and Atlanta. I kind of like St. Louis, man. How about that? But then they would face the Dodgers round 2. So I think it might be Atlanta.
What's the easiest path then?
I mean, you just want to stay away from the Dodgers, so it's going to be the winner of the 2-3 series faces. Or no, the 2-7 faces the 3-6. So it's
Dude.
Cubs
What about
or Atlanta?
Oh my God, storyline! I need the Cubs versus the Reds in the DS.
Be good.
That'd be a great storyline.
I love a good storyline. You're talking me into that.
Oh, that'd be good. Cubs beat the Marlins easy.
That's how I pick my.
And then the Reds upset the Braves. Cubs Reds is a great matchup there. And then Dodgers Padres up top in the DS. Those are the 2 storyline matchups I think you want.
Yeah.
And then from there you just go Dodgers Cubs because that's the best markets for baseball. I don't want all that. I'm just doing storyline. All right, we got to go to the AL. In the AL, the first matchup is the Tampa Bay Rays versus the Blue Jays. Now the Blue Jays actually feel kind of good against the Rays. The Blue Jays, I believe, went 4-6 in the season series, but they had 4 games they lost by only 1 run. Yeah. So they don't hate it. I don't know. I mean, the Rays are the clear-cut favorite.
The Rays are so tough to analyze because the lineup kind of doesn't make sense on paper. You look at it and you're like, oh, okay. But then you look at some of their splits and you see like a guy like Brasso versus lefties. I mean, is this so we talked about it for the Braves being a really important game 1. Do you think if the Jays have any chance, you got to win game 1 because it's Ryu, your only pitcher?
Yes.
Yeah.
If the Jays do not win game 1, I will put it at 0.01% chance the Jays win the series.
I hear what you're saying, and I agree mostly. I do think like the Jays' plan, if they're going to win this series, they got to hit, and they got to hit big, like even Ryu Day. So that's my only thing where I'm not fully locked into that. And man, when the Jays mash, they do mash. So I don't know. I mean, the Rays are the heavy favorite, and you are like, if they don't win game 1, it does feel like we're gonna be like, yeah, the Rays won both games because that's what they do.
Yeah. The bullpen and the starters after Ryu, it's all tough.
I mean, they basically they're Nate Pearson coming back, so I guess they're hoping from something from him. But you got to go Ryu, maybe Pearson, Dolis, and Bass. Yeah, it's not looking good for the Jays. It doesn't seem like they have the pitchers. They're going to be playing in that Jays locker room. They're going to be playing the 3-game set.
Let's hope Glasnow's tipping again in game 2. That's the Jays' best bet. It's not looking good. I mean, who's their second? Walker?
I think it's Walker.
And the Rays are going Snell, Glasnow, Morton game 3. Do they hit Snell? Can I check that real quick before we move on?
I'll let you check that all day, baby.
Snell's, let's just do his 2020 splits.
Snell versus Ryu, game 1. I like that.
We're doing opponent. Snell, how many times did he face the Toronto this year? 2 games against Toronto. Where the hell is it? Okay, 2 games started, 7.2 innings pitched, so I don't know what that's about. 2.3 ERA. Why did I do it this way? 2020 season, it's so much easier just to do game logs, opponent. All right, so he went 5.2, 2 earned runs, and then in the very beginning of the season, he went 2 innings pitched because he was building up, and he went 0 earned runs.
And Ryu had 2 appearances, both at Tampa, 4.2, 3 earned runs, first start of the year, and then later in August, 5 innings, 1 earned run. So, and man, we have to give Ryu a little more love. He had a 3 WAR this year, 5-2 with a 2.69 ERA.
Yeah,
so
and his first 2 starts were down, and then after that,
Ryu's up there with anyone, man, and that would again, we're talking about these 8-1 matchups, and lose the first game, blah blah blah. I mean, Jays probably need it. I was gonna say more than the Brewers. They could both really need it, but yeah, last 10 starts for Ryu, a 1.86 ERA.
Yeah.
Whew.
Lourdes Gurriel Jr. is 2 for 8 with 2 home runs off of Snell. That's probably the only matchup there that stands out. All right, the next matchup in the AL is I'm just going down the list here. Sure. Cleveland Indians versus Yankees.
The 4-5.
This is the 4-5. This is as premier a pitching matchup in Game 1 gets. You have the Cy Young winner in Shane Bieber, who every single start has been special, versus Garrett Cole, whose last 5 starts have been incredibly crazy. So really big pitching matchup in Game 1. You have the Yankees offense is better than the Indians offense, but the Yankees offense is very hot or cold. The Indians offense has been pretty bad. I think they have an 89 runs created, they're below 100. They're below average. Jose Ramirez has been amazingly hot, and they do have some mainstays and some stars that, can Lindor turn it on in the postseason? Yes.
Yeah, you believe in them. Carlos Santana just finished the last day of the season, and his season stats look bad. He finishes with a home run and a double in the last game, and it's are you getting, Carlos Santana that's like a 900 OPS guy for a decade?
I think this one. I did the most likely to go 3 games. I have this as my most likely to go 3 games in the American League.
I'm interested to see, man. You and I have obviously rode the wave of this Yankee season. They've talked about turning on the switch. Cole versus Bieber. It was my Irvin Magic Johnson tweet of the week, but I think this game is the most devastated loss game because it's all these fan bases. I mean, the Cleveland. You've been telling yourself all year, get us Bieber in a series, and that's the number 1 pitcher in the AL this year. The Yankees. They went out, they had a Garrett Cole, who, in any year could be the number 1 pitcher in the AL. His last 3 starts, 0.86 ERA. And the Yankees have been saying, this is what's different about this Yankees team. I mean, whatever team ends up losing this game is just going to be so devastated.
Yeah. They draw a lot of walks. You got to throw strikes to them. But yeah, it's Jose Ramirez right now. And who's there too? Cesar Hernandez?
Hernandez gets on base. And they're switchy and they're tough. And I'm interested to see the second half of that Indians lineup because they've basically been a 0 all year. And who's going to have playoff moments for them? Is it Naylor, the guy that came over from the San Diego trade? He hasn't done much. Do they give DeShields a start? Mercado had an awful year. Does he somehow find a start? I don't know. And, Perez, they're fine with him being a 0 offensively because he's plus behind the dish. I'm interested to see the top of that Indians lineup is going to do something. Like, you're not going to walk away from Lindor, Hernandez, Santana, and Ramirez and be like, wow, 0 for 12 from those guys? Like, no. Like, your best case is 1 for 10 with 2 walks, probably. But you can shut down the rest of that lineup. So, interested to see that. And, yeah, man,
okay, so I'm a Yankee fan that's actively trying to talk myself into positives.
Yeah.
So if you're an Indians fan, this segment sucks for you. So maybe I'll do that first. Indians, if Bieber shoves and Cookie Carrasco, who's been fantastic lately, shoves, and the Yankee, and like you can easily navigate this Yankees lineup, which is really, really good when it's good. But when they've been got, they're really bad. And this Yankees lineup has been really bad against good starting pitchers and really bad against any starting pitcher that they're seeing for the first time this season. And they're going to face really good starting pitchers, the best pitcher in the AL for the first time. I think Bieber can very easily dice up this team.
The only question about Bieber, it's his first playoff start, and
so
that's basically how special is it going to be?
So that's the spin zone I'm using right now, and I said previously in the show I like experience in the playoffs a lot.
Yeah.
Garrett Cole has pitched a lot of big playoff games. He's got a 2.6 ERA, and I mean he's pitched big playoff games.
Yeah.
You have Tanaka, who has a 1-something ERA in the playoffs. Tanaka's playoff stats are like very impressive, and it's a lot of games.
Yeah.
Now, they have the experience to do that, and they'll be on the road. Bieber has not pitched in the postseason. Plesac has not pitched in the postseason. Cookie Carrasco's only had 2 starts in the postseason, and his team lost both of them. I don't think they were really his doing. One was a nice Greg Bird off Andrew Miller home run. His playoff numbers are really good, but it's only 2 starts, 17 and 18. But experience lays easier with the Yankees. Skill and pitching wise, top to bottom.
It's how special is Bieber going to be? I mean, are we going to be walking away and it's, you start getting into really corny sports stuff, but Cole is kind of the guy. He just got the biggest contract for a pitcher ever. What he did in Houston was lights out. His year this year, I saw people being like, Cole didn't really have, his year this year. And it's like, well, actually he did.
Yeah.
Go check out the stats. It started slow with some homers. But, this is almost going to be, is the torch getting passed, or is Garrett going to be on the mound after the game and is like, this was fun, huh, Bieber? Indians fans, obviously we are Yankees fans. Shane Bieber could go 8 innings, 13 Ks.
Easy.
That would not shock us either.
When the Yankees are bad, they're so bad, and they've been bad against bad pitchers. So I'm very worried.
A lot of fun first innings. Coming up.
Next matchup is the Twins versus the Astros.
Woo!
This is super boring for me.
I like this series.
I don't know. I just expected different. Like I was thinking Twins were going to have to face the White Sox or the Yankees, and both of those matchups were so exciting. I think whoever faced the Astros was going to be boring to me. But don't count them Astros out. They're going Greinke game 1, and they haven't announced a game 2 starter, but Dusty Baker says he has a plan.
Oh, yeah.
But they threw McCullers on the last game of the season, so McCullers is out for game 2 as like a starter or something like that. Very weird.
Yeah.
'Cause he's been good lately, but I mean, Framber seems like the 2.
I think Frambers are in the 2. This Twins team, it's kind of the same story. These dudes can rake. They've had a couple guys come back late from the IL, Mitch Garver, Luis Arias. So what kind of performance are they going to get?
McCullers threw on the 26th.
Okay.
27, 28, 29. Yeah, he would be on 3 days rest for game 2.
Has he been that great?
I think his last couple starts were good, yeah.
He finishes with a 3.93. And he's got experience, so, maybe they've got options. Maybe he's their
His
game
last
3.
3 starts has been 17.2 innings pitched, 0 earned runs. I mean, if you go back the next one, there's some earned runs because he had an injury. But if you take out this injury where he didn't even record an out because he was hurt, then it's 6 innings. I mean, yeah, really good lately.
Yeah.
Last 4 starts, really good.
And you wonder, are they going to get funky? He's got 11 games 4 starts, and then the rest are out of the bullpen. So Dusty's got a plan. But I'll just say this, man. Greinke game 1
versus
Maeda.
Revenge 2017
Ooh.
Astros. That's the big storyline everyone's talking about there. Maeda versus the team that stole the ring right off his finger.
Yeah, that team that stole the ring's got some bad dudes that wouldn't mind shutting a lot of people up, and that's what I want to see. I mean, this Astros team has been bad this year. Jim, their road record is 9-23.
One of the only 2 teams to be in them and the Brewers, right? Are the losing record teams in the playoffs?
Yeah. But Zach Greinke, again, he the last time we saw him in a playoff game was one of the most impressive performances of all time.
Should be talked
be
about
in the pantheon
forever.
of all time performances.
Game 7, man. I mean, I'm glad the Astros lost and it was very exciting.
Yeah.
But man, that performance by Zach Greinke should be talked about with like hearts in our eyes as baseball fans. Game 7. What was he doing? Like, he had 1 hit?
I think he had 1 hit. He might have had no hits for a while. He was doing the Jomboy 1, 2, 3 innings very casually. They had Cole available in the bullpen. Anyways, and like, dude, I can't count out Bregman, Springer, Correa, Brantley, who had the only like really good year.
No hit through 6 was what it was.
Man, Springer turned his year around. Holy smokes.
No hitter through 6 in Game 7 of the World Series.
If I'm the Twins, I don't like this matchup. Straight up.
Why? Because they're hitters? Because the Astros hitters?
Because it's still the Astros, and like they've had this whole year that's been bizarre. They've looked bad. You're still coming in and you're facing Greinke, who that last performance we just mentioned, he's Zach Greinke until he's not Zach Greinke. And then, dude, like let's say Maeda doesn't have it, game 1, which hey, he doesn't deserve that. He's been incredible. More so, it's do the Astros have it, and let's say Bregman and Springer homer in the first game. Like again, this season didn't matter. The Astros are in the dance. And what do you think they've been telling themselves all year? Like, F everyone, F Jomboy. We're going to come out in these playoffs, and we're going to rake. So, I don't know. I just think they're the Astros until they're not. And they could very well not. Like, the Twins have had a really good year, and they're a really good ball team. But, man, I don't want to see Greinke and these dudes with all that playoff experience in game 1, a 3-game set. No way, man.
What are the throwing arms of the Astros starters? I'm blanking. And
Like the starters?
yeah, what's Framber?
Greinke. Oh, Framber's a lefty.
Okay. Twins suck against lefties. I believe.
Okay.
I believe Minnesota Twins finished dead last in home runs percentage off lefties. And the Twins are one of the most home run relying teams in all of baseball. So maybe Framber game 2 is nice.
Jim,
the Padres are the most home run reliable team, I believe.
Houston's pitching ain't bad.
Framber's been good.
Dude, Christian Javier had a really nice season. I think they probably kick him to the bullpen. Urquidy has turned it on. He's got 5 good starts. Houston's got some arms, man.
Worried about the Twins?
I'm worried about the Twins.
Okay. All right. Houston's been bad, though.
Houston has been bad.
Twins have been very good.
I mean, I could chop up their numbers, and Houston has had a horrible final 3 weeks. And, this is biggest coin flip series for me. How about that? Mm-hmm. Like, I could have the Astros winning game 1, and the Twins are like, oh, my God, how did this happen? We're facing the Astros. They look good again after having a terrible season. Or I could see the Twins roll them over. This is my biggest coin flip series.
Yeah, I mean, so they rely on the home run. 51% of the Twins' runs come via home run. Twins run. No team in the AL playoff has scored fewer runs per game by non-homer. Now, you live and you die with the homer. The solo homer is more common in the postseason because pitching is a lot better, and the solo homer doesn't do much for you. So you just got to get some guys on base. The Twins are very good, though.
Yeah, I mean, they could maul and win the first two games 8-1, 8-3.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised. I could also see them losing 3-1, 4-2, and that's it. So
the next series here is the A's and the White Sox, and I'm super interested in this series. I'm interested because I have no idea which way it's going to go. How you're talking about, I think the Twins win, but how you're talking,
games.
What's that?
Like 3 games.
What do you mean?
This series.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even know who the A's pitching is. I scoured to figure it out. I think Bassett's getting the ball in game 1, but A's fans didn't know yet. I don't know. White Sox, clearly it's Giolito and then Keuchel. White Sox offense has been in a pretty big slide, but they're good, but they're all inexperienced. It's a whole new playoff team, basically.
Yeah.
You got Grandal.
Grandal's been through it. Jose Abreu, you're not going to bet against that guy, veteran after an MVP type season. We'll see what the young guys look like. Are they the special fun White Sox from a couple weeks ago? Jose Abreu MVP in the chat with the Plouffe stat from earlier. Sox are 14-0 against lefties.
Yeah. So,
and I mean,
is Bassett a lefty?
No, Bassett's righty. Manaya's a lefty.
Yeah.
Luzardo's a lefty.
The White Sox also, though, they don't really walk, and they chase pitches. So if they face a pitcher, if they face a top-level pitcher that can get them to chase, it seems like an easy recipe.
Did you see what Montas did yesterday? A's fans have to be 13 Ks.
Really? Well, who did he play?
Last day of the season.
Who was it against?
Who was it? A's. They won 6-2. Mariners. Still, they've been waiting for that from Montas, and they've wanted him to probably be their one.
The White Sox need to get multiple people on base. Like, they need to take some walks and pass the baton. They don't really walk a lot, and if they're going against a good pitcher, like, they swing so often that they can find themselves handing a good pitcher a nice pitch count easily if they're not hitting, because they just swing.
Yeah.
So
they do well.
They do really well. They bang. Their offense is incredible. They're poised. Can the White Sox hitters be poised enough in the postseason? That's what's going to really help them out. But what's going on with the A's, man? I don't even know.
I mean, they lost Chapman. They get the second seed in the East. I mean, the question is, does the puzzle piece end up fitting beautifully, or is it a disaster?
Mm-hmm.
Like, does Bassett, Luzardo, Manaya, hopefully Montas for them maybe towards the end of the series, like, is it beautiful poetry with all their pitching, or it's like how did we end up here? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I haven't been paying attention because they've had the 1 seed locked up so much.
Yeah.
Is Lamb going to continue?
I think so. I think
he's been really hot, and he hasn't made an error at third yet. I think he's been better than Chapman was before Chapman got hurt. Ooh. Statistically, I think his hitting, if he's been on the team for 2 weeks, those 2 weeks are better than the 2 weeks before Chapman got hurt. I think, he's hotter than Chapman was.
Now, yeah.
They haven't lost a step. For now,
Murphy had a good year.
You want Chapman?
Yeah, I'm interested. And hey, this Oakland team has some playoff experience too. They've been in some games.
Won.
Yeah, they were in the do or die.
They lost.
And then they were. I mean, weren't they there the year before too?
They've lost 2 wild card games. That's their experience. It's not a lot.
Yeah, it's something. They played in 2 do or die games.
The A's pitching is very interesting. They're like competent when the offense is good, but it's a little bit like the Braves without Fried. Like the Braves lineup has been carrying them for a while, and their pitching is good enough.
I mean, I kind of want to stop you there because, I mean, the Braves lineup blows the A's lineup out of the water.
I guess so.
Um,
So are we saying we don't believe in the A's? But the White Sox are young too.
But dude,
I have
this
no
turns
idea.
into almost like the Rays argument, and we've compared these teams throughout the season. Like, the A's do it their way. Almost everyone that's going to come out and pitch for them can pitch really well.
Not as good as the Rays. The Rays pitchers blow them out of the water. If the Braves hitters blow the Rays pitching blows them out of the water.
Yeah, I think that's fair. The starters, I mean, they're bullpen, man.
Yeah.
A lot of guys that can do it down there. So, yeah, it's just, does the pitching end up looking beautiful? Can the starters get it to the bullpen? Because you still believe in Matt Olson, Laureano, Simeon, even though they had down years. Robbie Grossman's been good. Canna's been there. Murphy had a really nice year for the catcher. So, I don't know. This is my guaranteed 3-game set.
All right, I like that. I have the Yankees and the Indians.
Like that.
The pitching in games 1 and 2 is so good, and whereas Yankee fans were so worried about game 3 because then you're going to a do or die with Hap starting. Granted, short leash. It's not like it's not like it's Hap's game to win or lose. We're so scared of that scenario as Yankee fans that to me it's got to happen.
Okay, I like that. I don't know. I think if they get beat with Cole, it might be a lot of slumpy shoulders.
Oh, the Yankees lose game 1.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. They have to win game 1.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't have a lot of faith in the Yankees. If they lose game 1, I have no faith in them like gearing up. They'll just think they got to jam the button even more.
Yeah, hit the button harder.
Button hitters. All right. That about covers everything.
Yeah.
I'm super excited to be, 1, back in Roosevelt Studios. 2, that we got a lot of fun stuff coming up. Like, this is so much more fun than the regular season. Flip a switch for me. I'm into it. So, thank you guys very much. We'll be back. I don't know what the plan is. We'll have the pregame show tomorrow. I don't think we'll have anything on the main feed. But we haven't really figured it out. So, because there's no games to recap. So we will 100% be back on this channel, on the Patreon-only videos, and on the main podcast feed, and we will be back Wednesday to recap all the Tuesday games, Wednesday morning.
Maybe we can put the pregame on both feeds tomorrow or something? I don't know.
Yeah, and let people know?
Yeah.
Okay. And then if you watch on YouTube, you guys get everything every day anyway. It's all in the same place. The podcast app feed is split up because otherwise you'd be getting 13 a week. That's crazy, or some shit like that. 9 a week. 13 a week in the playoffs.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, guys. Oh, there it is.